Ashley Krug with the city's Environmental Services is joining us once again here on Daybreak, and we continue talking about items that are hard to recycle. Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And up next here in our hard to recycle items, we have some electronics, everything that has to do with technology. We have so many of these devices. When we're ready to get rid of them, what do we do with them, Ashley?
Absolutely. And so, especially now, we update our electronics and our appliances often. And so lots of times we find we have a lot of these things that you put in the closet, right? And you don't know what to do because you're not sure if you should put it in the trash can, and you definitely don't know if it can be recycled. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about anything that plugs in and what you can do specifically after the holidays when you may be rotating out new things. And so this is another one that we want to think about, those R's of recycling. And so the first of those is going to be to repurpose and reuse those. And so I want you to think about opportunities to also send these back to manufacturers. So there is an opportunity a lot of times with your cell phones as well as computers that you can send these back to be refurbished by the manufacturers. And they often have programs that you're not even going to pay for shipping for those items. So really making sure that those are getting a bang for their buck first place. The next one that we want to talk a little bit about is then that donation opportunity. So if it's still in good working order, if you have a TV that you may have replaced, even computers, a lot of times there's several locations throughout our community that will accept electronics for donation to be then sold to somebody else. We want to really recommend that people are calling the places that they are going to donate items first, because as you can imagine, like a TV is going to take up a lot of space for them. And so we want to make sure they have enough space inside there, and they may tell you, oh, we need to send it somewhere else. Okay. And then that last option is really going to be recycling. And so recycling, we have two great electronics recyclers here in our community who are going to break down your items. And this is, I mean, truly anything with a cord. A lot of people think, I have a blender, I don't think I should send that to an electronics recycler, right? No, absolutely. Anything that has a cord is going to have items like plastics and metals, and even some of those like hazardous materials, especially inside our like computers, that need to be broken down by professionals so that we're not putting them into our environment instead.
If they are still working, is it a good idea to drop them off at a thrift store or something like that? Maybe donate to a charitable organization that might use them if they're working?
Absolutely. And we have a great resource on our website about places that you can donate, and even some things that you might not think about. So there's oftentimes opportunities for children to use computers that you have replaced by that time. You're going to want to make sure that you call and ask their instructions on how they want you to donate those items, because obviously we want to make sure your personal information isn't on those, that you've wiped those items clean of anything that could connect them back to you. But absolutely, donation is a great way to get additional reuse for someone who might need that product.
I'm glad you mentioned blenders too, because we might, I was thinking about laptops and things like that, but those items we might have in the kitchen too are also recyclable. But never, ever, ever put anything like this, especially the cords, in the trash can, right?
Absolutely, not going to go in the trash can, and we do not want you to put them in the curbside bin as well. This is another item, just like those textiles, that can cause tangling issues inside any of the equipment that they have. And honestly, they're just going to have to dispose of it for you. So I know people have really good intentions for putting things in those curbside bins, but we want only the things that can go into those recycling bins to be there.
All right, sounds good. Ashley Krug with the city's Environmental Services, thank you so much for all those great tips.
Absolutely.
And as always, all of that information you can find on the city's website, springfieldmo.gov/recycling, for where to recycle your electronics and everything else in your home. We'll be right back with more right here on Daybreak.